Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. So, news has come out that DVD interviewed for the North Carolina defensive back coaching job. I've heard that he may have interviewed for some other opportunities, but this is the first one that's being publicly reported. So I'm just going to keep the subject matter on that. Now, it's a lot of talk about whether or not DVD should be on field or off field, based on the long game or the bigger picture. And the bigger picture seemingly being that DVD seems to have one of those unique type of ways or unique relationships with a lot of these younger players. And it has paid dividends for us on the recruiting trail because seeing that the last administration or regime, however you want to refer to them as, is no longer in the building. So now it seems the DVD is getting his flowers in terms of talking about who it was that DVD was very, very much involved with in helping get players to the University of Miami. I know most people get caught up on the whole Kamani McLean situation because it seems to be that was the most publicized recruitment. But obviously, of course, DVD had a hand in getting helping secure the signatures of all the cornerbacks that we were able to acquire on last year. And obviously, of course, even before, last year, when I'm speaking last year, I'm talking about 2021. And obviously in 2020 as well, he's been a very integral piece on that. Now, some of the things that I've seen, and I just stopped and I thought to myself, I said, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense because you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. Because on one hand, I see individuals say, well, when he was an on-field coach, the product didn't look good. And I said, okay, so you want to argue two different points. Because on the opposite side of the street, the argument was we have been devoid of cornerback talent. The argument on the other side of the street was the defense just didn't look good at all. So you want to argue that, then come back across the street and argue and say, well, his product didn't look good. What sense does that make? Explain to me, what sense does that make? You're going to argue that the product didn't look good and then also go and start another argument talking about the cornerback position from a recruiting standpoint has been subpar and the overall direction of the defense had taken a nosedive. I'm like Ed Reed. Where they do that at? Oh, in Miami. That's where they do that at. So another thing that I saw. Well, I don't think DVD, he needs more seasoning. How much, he needs to work at it more. And my rebuttal is simply as this. Anytime someone's talking about, let's get somebody on staff, what are two of the positions that they say they can go coach? Are they going to be a running back coach? Are they going to be a, defensive back coach? Maybe be a wide receiver coach. Those are considered entry-level positions. So, and I'm not trying to diminish those position groups by the comment that I'm about to make, but what you have in common with those particular position groups is they're usually the best recruiters. Very rarely do you see that the quarterback coach is the best recruiter. The offensive line coach, the best recruiter. Linebacker coach, the best recruiter. No. They are synonymous with defensive backs, running backs, wide receivers. For example, Corey Ryman and T-Rob, considered two of the best recruiters. Defensive back coach. Jaywan Schneider, running back coach, considered one of the best recruiters. Right? Billy Napier, when he came to Florida, one of the things was he was a good recruiter, even though when you go back and look, Mario Cristobal was the primary recruiter on some of that wide receiver talent, but we'll just keep that to ourselves. But those are just the names that when you think about recruiting, those are the names that pop up. Now, obviously, of course, you throw head coaches in there because, they get the credit for the bulk of recruiting, the credit for the bulk of, the development of players, because we're not so much concerned with position coaches and coordinators until we have an opening. But other than that, we're necessarily not concerning ourselves with that. But the one big conundrum that we do have is that Addae has not done anything to warrant him losing his job. He didn't. Nothing was warranted, and most people are indicating that, well, I can't see getting rid of a guy who was responsible for producing a first-team All-American. And this may be an apples to oranges type of situation, but Manny Diaz didn't see fit to keep Banda as a co-defensive coordinator, and he helped develop Jaquan Johnson into an All-American. So that's why I kind of sit with that. And the thing of it is, that's just how I look at it. But at the end of the day, DVD may or may not stay. If they already reporting publicly that he interviewed for a job, I'm sure that's not the only one. I'm sure that may have been the most, that may have been the biggest job, so to speak. And, when leaks like this come out, usually it's from his particular camp. Now, I don't know if it's a situation where you have a outfield staffer utilizing the whole leverage play by saying that, hey, I'm interviewing for these particular jobs. If you want me to stay at this particular position, I need to be either compensated more or you need to make something shake. Because obviously, of course, when Addae was hired, many of us felt like that was going to be a big time replacement. I mean, again, I'm not here to bash. I'm not here to try to be negative or nothing, but there was nothing, I didn't see anything necessarily special that stated that he should have been head and shoulders above, DVD, even though he was responsible for coaching the #1 pass defense at West Virginia a couple of years. But again, it's very interesting how narratives change when people like you. Because when we were throwing out those same, well, not me, because I didn't concern myself with those things. But when people were talking about how well our secondary was playing under Mike Rump's tutelage along with Banda's tutelage, those things were discarded. So, but again, the double standards, and people will do whatever they take to defend you if they like you. But anyway, man, let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Do y'all think DVD shouldn't have? I'll say this. Do you think DVD should have just been retained as an on-field staffer due to his recruiting prowess versus bringing in Addae? I'll say that because, again, like I said, Addae has not done anything to warrant himself losing his job unless he himself is also interviewing for positions. But with all that being said, man, like, share, subscribe, comment. And as always, it's all about the you.